It started with absolute silence, a crushing weight on the mind, broken only by the heavy labored breathing through the regulator and the cold monotone ping of the sonar echoing inside the helmet. We floated in eternal darkness, a place untouched by sunlight for millennia. We had been warned about what we might find, but no amount of psychological preparation was enough for that moment. My flashlight swept across the seabed mud, suddenly halting on a milky white object. It was a human skull. A chill ran down my spine, causing me to jerk back in instinctual panic, shaking the camera violently. As the silt settled, the naked truth was revealed. The skull lay beside a rusted debris field amidst murky blue-green water, with marine snow falling like ash from a great fire. A skeletal hand still gripped the handle of a rotted leather suitcase half buried in the sand. People say the ocean eventually erases all traces of humanity, but here, time does not pass. It freezes. Slowly looking up, I saw it. The massive steel wall emerged, towering and pitch black, rising from the darkness like a colossal mass grave. The Titanic. I extended a thick metal-gloved hand to wipe a tarnished brass plaque. A cloud of sediment billowed up, revealing faint but authoritative letters, Titanic. Sleeping for more than a century, that name still evoked both ultimate pride and catastrophic tragedy. We floated near the giant anchor chains, now shackled by the ocean itself, and covered in red rusticles dripping like blood from an unhealed wound. Moving along the darkness, the beam caught a pair of leather boots lying side by side on the sand. No bones, no bodies, only the shoes remained. There were people who fell right here in this exact spot and never woke up again. We glided over the skeletal remains of the forecastle deck. The luxurious teak wood had been consumed, leaving only a rusted sharp steel framework. The iconic bow railing appeared, holding only the solitude of strange deep-sea fish swimming listlessly. Looking down into the open cargo hatch, it resembled the black maw of a sea monster, wanting to swallow our faint light. Deciding to enter the belly of that beast was a gamble with death. Claustrophobia took over as we squeezed inside. Light reflected off jagged metal edges. In the thick mud of the cargo hold, a champagne bottle lay with its cork still intact, a party that ended before it began. I touched it gently, disturbing a cloud of sediment. Then, the legendary 1912 Renault appeared, flattened, rusted, yet still possessing an air of dignity. Its brass headlight remained dull, having never illuminated a single road. Turning around, I was startled to catch my own reflection in a broken mirror floating amidst the debris. Who was the last person to look into it before disaster struck? Leaving the cargo hold, we advanced toward the bridge. The wheel was gone, leaving only the bronze telemotor stand standing alone, covered in ghostly white anemones. It stood like a tombstone for Captain Smith. Inside his cabin, a stark white porcelain bathtub appeared amidst the rubble, a shockingly mundane image. I brushed a layer of dust off the rim. The whiteness of the porcelain was still blinding, contrasting sharply with the gloom. Along the boat deck, empty davits stretched out over the black water, silent witnesses to the ultimate panic where thousands were left behind. Inside the Marconi wireless room, wires hung like spider webs. This was where desperate SOS signals were beamed into the endless night. Near the telegraph key, a single finger bone lay lonely, a reminder of the brave operator who stayed until the very end. We reached the grand staircase, now just a gaping hole leading straight down to hell. Descending into that void, passing through erased social strata, I saw a crystal chandelier still clinging to its wire, swaying slightly in the current. Our lights made the droplets sparkle one last time. I wiped rustical slime from a wall section, revealing preserved oak wood underneath. In the reception room, stacks of unbroken white star-lined china lay under the mud. I dusted one off, and the red flag logo appeared, clearly a symbol of luxury, now in ruins. Turning into a long, dark corridor, dancing shadows felt like ghosts walking behind me. A cabin door number 402 was locked tight, keeping its secrets forever. Peeking through a hole into a first-class stateroom, I saw a brass bed frame standing upright. But to my horror, resting on the mattress springs was the head of a porcelain doll. Its lifeless eyes stared directly into the camera. I touched its forehead. It didn't move a toy, abandoned in chaos. Next to it, a pocket watch hanging on the wall had stopped forever at 2:20. Time died with the ship. We went deeper through Scotland Road, now clogged with debris. An elevator cage twisted open like a trap. Outside the hull, the seabed was a field of forgotten memories. Hundreds of suitcases lay scattered. An open leather trunk revealed perfectly preserved perfume vials. I shook one gently. The liquid still moved the scent of a lady from 1912, sealed forever. Spectacles rested on rotted newspaper. Stacks of banknotes with dissolved edges were still recognizable. Money becomes meaningless when death is imminent. Nearby, a diamond necklace glinted in the mud. I brushed the sand away to see it better, but took nothing. We left only bubbles. Near the Turkish bath, turquoise tiles were still stunningly vibrant after being dusted off. But then harsh reality struck again. A shoe lay nearby, exposing a stark white leg bone inside. We backed away respectfully. No one wanted to disturb their sleep. Heading toward the stern, the destruction became terrifying. Passing into the boiler room, giant furnaces loomed out of the darkness like sleeping giants. The doors were open, coal spilling out waiting to be burned. Piston engines as tall as houses stood silent, oil and grease still clinging to the metal like the ship's blood. The stern section was a chaotic mess of twisted scrap. The thick steel hull plates had been peeled back like torn paper. The massive bronze propellers lay half buried, once driving the ship at record speeds, now entombed. I swam close, feeling small beside the industrial power of the last century. But the most haunting secrets lay in the final hidden corners. The third-class area was cramped and destroyed. Collapsed bunk beds buried dreams of a new life. The famous iron gate blocking the corridor was solid and cold. They were trapped behind this gate in the darkness. Shining the light through the bars, I saw a skull rolling slightly in the current as if wanting to escape but unable. In the galley, giant cooking pots rolled on the floor. The final meal was prepared here but never served. Oxygen was running low. The warning light blinked red. It was time to return the silence to this place. We began to ascend, looking back down one last time. The beam swept across the captain's bathtub once more, before it sank completely into the dark. The giant ship began to dissolve into its eternal night, leaving only a lonely fish swimming across the grand staircase dome. Life continues here in its own way upon the grave of the past. As we pierced through the water layers to the surface, the image of the Titanic's bow faded lonely and small. The lens fogged. High above, faint sunlight began to appear, signaling life. But in our minds, the darkness down there would never dissipate. The screen turns black. The heavy breathing stops. Only silence remains. The ocean always keeps its secrets, and the Titanic will forever be the greatest tragedy lying at the bottom of the abyss.